What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my picks for MLB
Tuesday, September 22nd.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, let's take a look at this 11-game main slate. At the pitcher position, I like Blake Snell pitching against a low-salary batting team, the New York Mets. Blake Snell is giving up a .704 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 6 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Mets have only hit 4 of his last 30 pitches, only batting a .133 batting average. Blake Snell is $9,200 FanDuel salary and $300 more on DraftKings. He has an ERA of 3.05. His record is 4-1 in the season, pitching an average of 76 pitches per game, scoring an average of 27 fantasy points per game. He scored 25, 37, and 27 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He scored 59 fantasy points in his last game versus the New York Mets. So I like Blake Snell here versus the New York Mets. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. If you have the salary, I would pay up for Freddie Freeman with an 87% pitching advantage against a low salary pitcher, Jose Urena. Freddie Freeman bats 36% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a 1.119 OPS versus righties. And Jose Urena, he pitches pretty bad versus lefties. It's his worst ball by far, 51% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.176 OPS versus lefties. Freddie Freeman is 12 for 28, batting a .429 batting average and a 1.586 OPS versus Urena. 4 of those 12 hits were for home runs. He just absolutely smashes Jose Urena here. He's 4,000 FanDuel salary and $1,400 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 15 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 12, 0, and 28 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Freddie Freeman here versus Jose Urena. And if you're looking to save a little salary at the first base position, take a look at Garrett Cooper with an 11% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Bryce Wilson. Garrett Cooper is batting a .808 OPS versus righties, and Bryce Wilson pitches 17% worse to righties than he does lefties, giving up a 1.072 OPS versus righties. Garrett Cooper is 1 for 2 with a 1 OPS. He's $3,100 FanDuel salary and $500 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3, 35, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Garrett Cooper here versus Bryce Wilson. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Donovan Solano with a 15% batting advantage over Kyle Freeland. Donovan Solano is batting a .855 OPS versus lefties, and Kyle Freeland throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 12% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .879 OPS versus righties. Donovan Solano is 5 for 10, batting .500 with a 1.7 OPS versus Freeland. 2 of those 5 hits were for home runs. He's $2,900 FanDuel salary and $1,000 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He's projected at 10.5 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Donovan Solano here versus Kyle Freeland.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. Another value play for you here. I like Evan Longoria with a 33% batting advantage over that same pitcher, Kyle Freeland. Evan Longoria is batting 20% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .884 OPS versus lefties. And Kyle Freeland, we know he throws his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .879 OPS versus righties. Evan Longoria is 6 for 18, batting a .333 batting average and a 1.011 OPS versus Freeland. He's only $2,800 FanDuel salary and $1,400 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, projected at 9.7 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Evan Longoria here versus Kyle Freeland. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Javier Baez with a 24% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Steven Brault. Javi Baez is batting 20% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .860 OPS versus lefties. And Steven Brault is giving up a .691 OPS versus righties. But Baez is 5 for 13, batting a .385 batting average and a 1.115 OPS versus Brault. He's $3,000 FanDuel salary and $2,300 more on DraftKings. So I like that FanDuel price. He's averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, but he's projected here at 13.7 fantasy points. So I like Javier Baez here versus Steven Brault. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Michael Brantley with a 54% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, LJ Newsome. Michael Brantley is batting 28% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .928 OPS versus righties. And LJ Newsome, he pitches his worst ball versus lefty batters, 26% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.200 OPS versus lefties. There's no at-bats versus Newsome yet, but he's $3,000 FanDuel salary and $800 more on DraftKings. So I like that DraftKings price. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 9, 3, and 6 fantasy points in his last 3 games, but he's projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Michael Brantley here versus LJ Newsome.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.